A lot of people use zodiac signs to gauge a relationship's compatibility. I use mental illness. So I have ADHD, anxiety, and rising. And me with someone else who has ADHD is a blast. We are so functional minus the functional. My mom has ADHD, and she asked me to drive her to the mechanics to pick up her car. And so we get in my car, we drive to the mechanics, park, get out, get her car, get in, drive home. And the next morning I come out to my driveway and I'm like, oh my God, someone stole my car. And my mom comes out and she's like, oh, I'll call 911. So she goes to work, the officer arrives, and he asks me, when's the last time you saw your car, you drove your car? And I'm like, well, I drove my mom to the mechanics yesterday. Oh. My car is at the mechanics. And the officer's like, I don't need to be here, do I? And I could totally tell he was such a narcissist, asshole, and rising. And so, I'm like, thank you for your time, and I go to grab my keys, so that I can drive my car to go pick up my car. When you lose your phone and your first instinct is to grab your phone to call yourself? That's what this was, except the police were involved. So I'm like, wait, officer, could you drive me to the mechanics? And he's like, no, call an Uber. And I'm like, I lost my phone, so could you call me? And, he's like, ma'am, I don't have time for this. And I don't like to tell people this, but my moon is in Karen. So I went off on this guy. And I was like, this is Suffolk County, Long Island. You don't have time for this? What else do you have to do? Give parking tickets to commuters at train stations and eat donuts? And then his little radio bleeped and was like, calling all units, there has been a stabbing at the Dick's Sporting Goods in Patchogue. I was like, oh my God, that's the town next over. You should go tend to that. What were we talking about? ADHD. So the most compatible mental illness with ADHD is anxiety, because people with ADHD need people with anxiety to think for them, and people with anxiety need people with ADHD to distract them from their god-awful thoughts. So if you have anxiety and you're like, oh, my job and the thoughts are spinning and I don't know, I don't think about thoughts long enough to know what that's like, but my boyfriend's a bit on the anxious side, and he's extremely observant, and so his anxiety will put bigger meanings to the little details that he observes, and I'm extremely random, and my routine consists of me changing and revamping the routine I already don't follow. So if I wake up one morning and have the impulse to brush my teeth right away, he'll think, I didn't have to remind her to brush her teeth today. Who is she brushing her teeth for? Is there someone else? And while he's freaking out about me cheating on him with Chip Skylark, I'm so happy that got a laugh. While he's having anxiety about me cheating on him, I'll just sit down next to him and go, if we magically switched bodies for the day, would you want to have sex too? Thank you.